In June last year, Newzroom Afrika flighted the story of Sechaba Rakoloti, who was allegedly murdered by his husband in October 2020. The husband had turned to the National Director of Public Prosecutions to have the matter thrown out for lack of evidence, leaving Rakoloti's family feeling dejected. After a couple of court appearances following our broadcast, they say there's a glimmer of hope as the trial date has now been set for July. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi joins us now live from Thokoza. Linda, a very good morning to you. Just to keep us up to speed with this particular case, which indeed Newzroom Afrika brought to light, what is the situation with the family at this point?
Well, you'll remember, Gwena, that in June last year we brought you this broadcast of the story of Sechaba Rakoloti, where his family felt like they were losing grip of the case because his husband had turned to the Director of Public Prosecutions to have the matter thrown out of court for lack of evidence. Essentially, what they told us at the time was that in October 2020, Tsaba was coming back from a funeral and a few hours later was found murdered in the boot of his car. Upon investigations, the police discovered that his husband was behind the murder. He was arrested and subsequently granted bail, but after further delays, which they said were due to investigations, it seemed as though critical statements had gone missing, and that those statements were the ones that would really get them the justice that they sought. And upon learning that those critical statements were missing, and upon further delays, it is then that the husband wanted the matter thrown out by, of course, going to the Director of Public Prosecutions. But it seems, Gwena, that wasn't successful. That application to have that matter struck off was not successful, and that is why we're here today. I'm sitting with Tsaba's sister, Mnisi Rakoloti. She'll give us a sense of this particular case and will give us a sense of where they are right now as a family. Mnisi, I want to thank you so much for your time. The last time we spoke to you, you were very distraught, especially because Tsaba was your brother. You were quite close to him, his contributions in the community. Talk to us remind us in fact about how Tsaba passed away.
Okay, in 2020, when he was coming back from the funeral in Northwest, we found call later on that day that he was murdered. The husband called us telling us that my brother was deceased. He was murdered and put in the boot. So we followed up the case. The police came, they arrested him. And then the case has been postponed. It was dragging, and we tried to follow up to get the sense of what's going on, what's the matter, but we didn't get any positive feedback as the IO was not communicating with us, the prosecutor was not communicating with us. We didn't get any communication from anyone regarding the case. So we've been trying to go everywhere to get assistance, but we have been failing so far. So since the postponement of the case, we've tried to engage with the IO. However, he was kind of dodgy, and we found out that most of the evidence was missing from the docket. So we tried to follow up on that also, but we failed up until last year when we got the engagement from the Newzroom Afrika, and then from there we got a positive feedback, and the evidence it's now in the docket.
Sure. I mean, this is great developments for you, and the call for justice that you've been making as a family. We understand that following our visit, there's been also a number of other court appearances, and you're now at a stage where you got a trial date, which is somewhat of a glimmer of hope. Talk to us about that.
As a family, we are very happy. We are very happy because this has been dragging without any valid reasons. So for now, we got a court date, a trial date, which is going to be on the 10th of July, 2024. The trial will be starting, and as a family, we are happy and we are waiting for this, and we want justice to prevail. Yeah.
Just talk to us. Give us the background of, Tsaba's relationship with his husband, and how things suddenly went sour. You told me when I was here, that if he walked away, as it seemed at the time, he would have also walked away with all his belongings because they were married in community or property.
Yes. Their relationship so far, in our eyes, it was a good relationship, not knowing behind closed doors what was going on. But with on us, it was just a good relationship. They were a loving husband and wife up until whatever that happened. And now, after this has happened, we found out that the husband was calling the Standard Bank, West Tsaba Work, called in different departments to claim for money. Then he couldn't because the case was still ongoing, and they were not even married for that long. So we, as a family, we believe that he was in for the money because this thing happened like within 10 months of their marriage, and then Sechaba was deceased. However, as a family for now, where we are happy. At least there's progress, and Humulemo will get what he deserves also. Yeah.
Talk to us about the contribution that Tsaba made in society. We know that, of course, he was living out as a gay man, proudly so, but also as a pastor, which is something that contributed to the community somewhat.
Sechaba was a very great person, a great muruti. He was great. So the community is a great loss for all of us. As a husband, I don't know. As a pastor, the church loved Sechaba. Our AME church knows Sechaba, and he was very great in a church. And as a community, everyone knows Sechaba as a loving person, a loving gay person, and he was out there living his life. He didn't bother anyone. Sechaba doesn't have enemies that are known to him or known to the family. Sechaba was not the person who likes fighting, arguing, or anything. He was a peaceful person. In a family, we loved him. He was my mother's favorite by then. And he was our breadwinner. He took care of all of us. I had one daughter by then, and he was paying for everything that my daughter needed. So with this that happened, we suffered a lot. We lost a great person in a family, in a community, in our church also.
All right, thank you so much for your time. That's Sechaba Rakoloti, who is the sister, and I'm sure you can see Gwena just behind her, other family members who have been calling for justice. These are members that have been concerned about the case and how long it was dragging. You'll remember even in your introduction, you did mention that he passed away in October 2020, and last year it seemed as though the case was going cold and it was never going to see the light of day in a court of law. But now they say that they're quite pleased with the recent developments, having been given a trial date, which is in July, the 10th of July, as you heard there. So the matter will be going on trial, and the accused person will have his time in court and will get to answer to the allegations.
Mnisi, thank you so much for that update. Great to see indeed that a follow-up has been done, and hopefully justice will be done in that particular case.